What I think high school is all about is meeting new teachers and having classes that you'd like to do in your life and what you need in life. And I would like to have students that are coming into this school to be very respectful and actually do your homework instead of waiting till the last minute or hanging out with buddies like I did. When I was younger, I regret every second of not doing my homework. But I would love for people to get into classes that they never took before because I did that and I loved the classes that I tried out, and I think it'd be a very good experience for the students. You do get to hang out with your buddies a lot in school and have lots of fun while doing your homework and making really good memories with your teachers also. Your teacher will even tell you some of their memories back in their prime days. But you can't forget your English, social studies, maths, and science. Those classes are not very important to me, but maybe for you students if you would like to do that in your future. But I really learned a lot in those classes as well for like science and math. I use those in a lot of my classes that I think that are very important in my future. But once you take all those classes when you're younger, you get all your electives and credits done. You can have more free time as a senior, and it's a lot less stress on you during school. But I had a lot more fun when I was in school, but some classes can get boring, but it's just like work. So all I got to say is not to slack off, pay attention in classes, and get your work done. You can also help your friends with homework and make jokes all day like I did when I was younger. But this is my high school paper to those young ones.
Yes.
But now I love to talk about the classes that I'm taking for you young students to clarify what I use my math and science for. I use those classes for welding, engines, and woodworking. I will be now talking about the classes that I'm taking, so I took Engines 1 and Engines 2. So what you need is some really hard thinking in that class. You need to use math like measurements and thinking about how much you need to torque the bolts or even look online for parts that cost money and that takes some adding up to do. The next one I took is Wood Tech 1 and Wood Tech 2. And you need a little bit more measurements in that class and you need to buy the parts that you would use in engines. But you need to buy the wood still. But I mean, that's just wood.
Killing it.
The last class I am taking for my future job is Metals and Metals 2. You need math and science for this class also. You need to measure out the metal for the exact piece you need or length or even width. But back to the math class with metals, you need to make sure the stick welding you need is the exact stick, like a 6011 or 6010 welding stick. But we do more than a little bit more of a stick weld. We do also MIG, arc, and TIG weld. So we do multiple welding projects in this class. Sometimes we do a client work. So in Metals 1, we worked on Mr. Thompson's tricycle for a client project. I mean, that was pretty fun, but the frame was pretty bad, so we had to MIG weld that. I mean, it was pretty trustworthy, though. I kind of liked it. It was just a little tricycle kind. And we also did another client project with a shelf. The shelf was pretty hard to do. I mean, you had to do a lot of measuring more than welding, but that's part of the class. So